they really dove into those dismal jobs report numbers that we got on Friday.
I'm still in shock of them, yeah.
They were pretty awful, and Mort Zuckerman really summed it up nicely in his op-ed from the Wall Street Journal, saying the jobless numbers are even worse than they look. He tore apart this number and looked at all sorts of indicators, including this. The best indicator of how confident workers are about their jobs is reflected in how they cling to them. The so-called quit rate has sagged to the lowest in years. Just a number of the indicators that he cited. In short, he says the president's stimulus program was a failure. It did not last. He recommends a number of different policies the next administration can take. I was surprised that it wasn't such a partisan op-ed. It was more a look inside those job numbers from the perspective of an American businessman. He's a media and real estate mogul. On how companies are just not hiring and Americans are miserable and they're not getting paid.
I think Mr. Zuckerman has put together a series of very cogent statements on labor, this frustration over the two Americas, one employed and very nicely employed, but there's a whole other group not participating.
And wages are pretty much stagnant and they're dropping out of the participation.
Well, speaking of two Americas, two Europe is another big theme that everyone's been going on about. And George Soros issues a passionate plea to Germany. He says either lead the Eurozone or leave the euro. Now, of course, George Soros makes very clear that he doesn't actually want Germany to leave, but if Germany left, the euro would depreciate, debtor countries would regain their competitiveness, their debt would diminish, and with the ECB under their control, the threat of default would disappear. The cost of the eurozone, according to George Soros, is too high if Germany's current prescription of austerity, which could lead to potential deflation, were to be maintained.